Hello everyone. So if you are a developer, sometimes you could see that if you are working as a part of the stream or as a part of some team, some things not going right, some things need to be corrected, something going well, and there should be always a room in the team where you could actually discuss on, let's say, each of these items, what is happening in your team and what needs to be adjusted to make sure that your team will work more effectively. So to do that, we have a tool with name Metro Retro. And with the help of that tool, what we could do is we could create our team or we could join some already existing board. And when this, let's say, board um, need to be created from scratch, so then we have two possible options. One of them is to be able to create a blank board, or what we could do is we could use some predefined template. So if we will talk in terms of templates, at this moment there are a couple of categories of the predefined template. It's product board, it's decision-making board, it's ways of working board, tutorials and guides, and retrospective boards. So at this moment we are mostly talking about retrospective. So that's why let me just jump into the retrospective board examples. And here we could see that there are different boards, let's say, structure it in a little bit different manner that we could reuse for us to be able to find out what is, like good items for our team and what is bad items for our teams. So for example, there are also, we could see boards which indicates the speed car, and if you will hover on that, we will be able to see that it's a template that uses as a racing car metaphor to ask the team what is holding them back and what is driving them forward, right? And in that case, we could always find out, like what needs to be removed in terms of for our team to progress and what needs to be done, like in terms of team management, right? And there are, let's say, different kind of possible options in terms of it, right? How we could actually uh, take a look into this retrospective call, how we could document it, right? And what actually needs to be done. So if I will, for example, choose some kind of template, like for example, start, stop, and continue, and if I will select that board, so what it will give to me, it will give to me by default three columns. Let's say what we need to start doing, what we need to stop doing, and what we need to continue doing. And what we could do is we could quickly, let's say, jump for each and specific column, invite our team members here, and our team members will be able to create different kind of nodes. So for example, if I would like to add some kind of items under start, so what I could do is I could select this mode. So I would like to add stickers, and I am, for example, adding stickers. So we need to start review code better, right? And I could just quickly add it here. So that means that, like other team members will be able to also add at the same period of time their nodes under each of the column, and we could be in the private mode. So that means that, like it's hidden until I will make it as a public. And we could specify a timer, right? And our timer will help us to be in situation um, when we just allowing each team member during, for example, 10 minutes to think about what is going well, what we need to start to do, what is going wrong, what we need to finish to do, and like what is our action items, right? And in that case, once the team will finish with that, so the host will be able, like to make all sticks as visible, or for example, ask team or meeting members to make it visible. And then, like there will be different nodes under each of the column. Um, So once it's done and every team member, let's say, added their notes, what is else possible for us to do? It's actually possible for us after the initial time for each team member to review what was actually added to the board and actually vote, right? If I like that idea, I'm adding plus here and I'm adding a plus here. If it's necessary for me to add some reaction, I could also do so. Like, for example, I'm, like not agree with that note or whatever, right? If it's necessary for me to add a comment, uh, so we could add it, right? And in that case, what is happening? It's once we are done with generic team review, right, and our, let's say, timers are done, what we need to do is we need to actually communicate, right? So that means that the host of that meeting just going with the team through each of the items, and we are collaborating on that, right? So let's say when this voting round will be finished, so then there should be our next round, right? It's when we will plan what is our action should be. So the quick advice will be from me in the following. So if you guys will just discuss, like what is need to be started, right? What need to be stopped, and you actually define the action items. Let's say, for example, in our use case, review code better, right? And we would like to um, have cross team review of the code. So that means that like somebody needs to take this action, because if you will guys just discuss it, right, and then you will define the list of actions that need to be done and no one will actually pick it up. So that means that it actually will be not done, right? And next call, once you will again review your retrospective, right, you will be able to see that this action is still there. So that's why each time when you specify an action items, like even if you will have this entire board of topics that you need to cover, so you could focus at least on three most voted items and push these related action items to the next sprint. So that means that like you are not overload your team in terms of what kind of actions need to be taken, and you don't have like too many of them. You just really prioritize in terms of list of actions what need to be done. And during the next retrospective, you could sometimes see that like some other actions that were like in the list after the previous call are actually not necessary to be done anymore, because some additional actions that were already took place at this moment are already resolving that problem. And what I would advise is that like it's a really good and interesting tool for you to use in your daily work, especially if you're a manager or if you're a team leader and you need to understand what's happening with your team. And also, I was able to show you that here we have different kind of templates, and here we also have a possibility for us to use different boards, like for example planning and estimation. And there are like its own possibilities for us to do that work. Like for example, possibility for us to use t-shirt in estimation. It's when your team will decide what kind of estimations you use. Like for example, if you could see that some topics are big, so it's for example Excel, and if it's Excel size, so then like it's for example certain story points. If it's XS, then it's 8 story points, and like things like this. The same for the future perspective, right? So the idea is totally the same. So you could just jump here, see what kind of, let's say, templates it's available for you, and it will help you to really structure your, let's say, meeting in such kind of manner when you will uh, easily explain to the team why we need to do something in such manner or in that way, and assess items that need to be assessed. So at this moment, thank you guys for the attention. And if you have any kind of ideas, or if you will want to share with me your experience, or share with me any kind of other tools that you are using for similar stuff, please feel free to do it in the comments. And at this moment, thank you for the attentions, and bye bye.